All right, Jose, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you clear. Is it better?
Yeah, you are good now.
Okay, you know what? I'll just do it with this setup better instead.
Okay, okay. Let me get that black pentagrammer. Oh no, that's not it. Photo library. Where's my black star? So finally we're connected, and you are very clear this time.
Yes, it's much better, I think.
Right. Okay, and there's the black star. So let's go. I'm a bit off. Where were we? What were we at? Um, yeah. Um, what was where were we? Or you want to hit the topics?
No, we were talking about the just the media with how they play both sides and stuff. We were talking about like Ukraine, and I said I don't watch TV because it's a waste of time for me at least. I'm not gonna really get anything that's serious from that.
Okay. Let me see if I can share because I shared before. Am I still there?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. So now it's continuing because I can post again on Facebook. So let me post at least this link. Um, yeah, we're live. We're live. And well, yeah, paste. Right. What's on my
Can you hear me,
mind?
Jose? Because you were going in and out.
This link here. Paste. And enter. Join us. Post. Okay. And away. Back in our conversation, right? And did you get what I was telling about? Because you asked what was going on here. Was that was that clear? Was that one story?
Yes, no, very clear.
Okay, yeah. But I think uh, the previous video is didn't catch it. But anyway, yeah, it's it's nothing. It looks worse than it is. It's just Macky Sall is afraid of the new African nationalist voice. And I'm guessing the young dude Sonko is gonna win the next election, because Macky Sall is in his second election anyway, so he's out. And yeah, let's see what this young dude, this young African nationalist, is going to do with and for Senegal.
I
But
mean, I don't think any African, we were having this conversation on Dynasty's show today. I don't
oh
think any African uh, government, if you're going to have a serious African government to a certain degree, excuse me, you have to accept that you may end up looking, in terms of the media presentation, you may end up looking like a North Korea or a Cuba. Because
yeah,
truly, if you're doing the right thing for your people in Africa, the West is not going to like you. No Western
no,
government will like you.
No, look what they're doing to Russia. If they can do it to Russia, watch them kill your image in Africa.
I mean,
Yes,
look at what they did to a United States president. They effectively, you know,
yeah,
silenced Trump.
yeah.
Social media silenced him,
Yes,
and
also
that's
also
never
true.
never been heard of ever. But it just shows the power of the imagery. And so there's no African leader who's ready to take on that fight. I think all of them are too busy. They're worried about, they're compromised, so they don't want that type of fight on their hands.
Yeah, the what this dude is doing, he changed all the street names in the second city of Senegal. So I guess, I hope, no, I'm not guessing, I'm hoping. I'm hoping that he understands that it's the mind of the people that he has to target. So I hope he understands that these foreign TV channels have to go, and not only cancel culture of the colonizer, his propaganda, but also invest in propaganda. When I see African leaders do that, I'm I, I I'm positive. And if they don't do that, if they don't work on propaganda, if they don't um pull in the next generation, the young people in Africa, if they don't invest in the minds of, if they don't invest, I mean, our young, especially the young with some education, they see prosperity outside of Africa. So if the leaders don't uh, put in work like 200% in keeping them here, I'm not. It's just the next leader, right? So that's the only thing I'm looking out for. The leader that understands propaganda, and that is willing to not only keep out Western propaganda, because why should England have a BBC Africa? Even CNBC has a CNBC Africa. So yeah,
but
why
but no Nigerian station, or no, you know uh no Cape Verde station has a Cape Verde national news United States. It's
no,
just it's
no.
funny.
It's funny because there's a lot, and a good example, because there's a lot of Cape Verdeans in the United States. So why
Yeah, I
isn't
didn't even know this guy, the rapper. I'm sorry to cut you off. The rapper Benzino, his mother is Cape Verdean. He's half Italian, I believe, half Cape Verdean or something like that.
are you serious? That one I
Yes,
don't
the
know,
rapper
because
Benzino that was fighting Eminem. Him and Eminem had a big beef. He's from his father, Boston, but his mother's a Cape Verdean woman. And I guess she could pass for, white, or whatever. She's probably very
yeah,
fair
yeah,
skinned.
yeah. I must say the Cape Verdeans in the United States are pretty white. Yeah, they
Even
are
I
pretty
think this
white.
guy Ludacris, his wife is from Cape Verde too. Yeah,
Ludacris, his wife is from Cape Verde. Are you serious? No, man.
yes.
There's something about Cape Verdeans, but maybe we work hard, or we maybe our our women, their pussy is sweet. I mean, the slut walker is health.
I
Yeah,
listen. I think a lot of times what happens is, unfortunately, most of us, the men and the women, like there was a Nigerian guy, may he rest in peace. They just found him dead in his condo in Miami. Some white girl stabbed him. She's an OnlyFans model.
oh
Many
yeah, yeah.
Africans, yeah, when we get over to America or Europe, we're so eager to entangle our bodies with the Western system, not just the
Yeah.
Western system, the actual Western physical body. I was talking about that.
Yeah, so the slot walker is half Irish, half Cape Verdean. What's her name? Amber Rose. So yeah, J Cole is Cape Verdean. He even
Really, I didn't know.
yeah, he even uses Cape Verdean samples in some of his music. I like that very
Wow, I had
much.
no idea.
Yeah, yeah. And you see in some video clips, you see fans, you see buses of fans, 100% Cape Verdeans in those buses supporting him in his tour. So yeah, J Cole, yeah. And now he's doing something in Africa, right? He used to and that was new to me. He was a baller, a basketballer, and he's doing something with
Yes, yes,
basketball
yes. The
on the
basketball, yes.
he's doing something with basketball on the continent. I don't know if he is a token or if he plays. I think he's playing in Africa. I think he's basketballing. He's in the field.
Yeah, he's in the league or something like that.
Yeah, it's something with the league, and I thought they are using his face and name as token, but lately I suspect that he is actually on the field. He is in a team. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no, he's on the
Cape
team. He
Verdeans,
is.
In America, Tavares, heaven must be missing an angel. Those dudes
Really, they're
were
Cape Verdean. Wow, I
they're
had no
Cape
idea.
Verdean, and only one of them was born in the United States to be exact. Yeah. So yeah, I mean Africans in the United States, or non ADOS in the United States, pushing the culture. I mean, it's there's only one way, and that's Pan Africanism.
Yes, yes, that's true. Hold on a second. Someone's trying to join us, but I'm trying to. I can't see them. Hold on.
Is there you can share the StreamYard link in the chat and pin it. Holler when you're back.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here. I'm trying to get the person to come in. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, so you heard me. You can paste the StreamYard link, or maybe I can do that. Let me see.
Yeah, no, I just posted it in the chat, so hopefully,
Okay,
yeah, they
okay.
come in.
Uh, 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 Let me see. Oh, I closed Facebook. Yeah, whatever. You can hear you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, that's weird. That's weird because earlier on it when I left the stream, it it was gone. Mm, okay,
So,
paste.
the
Yeah.
article. I know you may have read it once, or maybe you finished it or twice. So just wanted to get your thought process on it. What Now that you've been able to possibly, settle with it, what are your thought process?
Yeah, well, a lot, a lot, you know, a lot. I brought up, I brought back a suggestion from the previous show, in WhatsApp, and yeah, it moved a lot. It moved a lot. It's very broad. There's a lot of angles that we can approach the subject, because it's the values. We're so far from those values, so how did those kingdoms look 200 years, even 200 years ago? In other words, even after 300 years of Western colonization, but before Western colonization, how did those kingdoms look? um, here in the south, you have people, the Jola, and they have several kings. They have several kings. The village where I met my baby moms is called Kataba Tambakunda. Nee, Kataba Bajikunda, excuse me. Kataba Bajikunda. So the name of the village is Kataba, but Bajikunda is home of the Baji, home of the Baji family, right? So that's already
Yes.
some sort of kingdom structure, right? So the village has a family name in it, and yeah, it um it provoked a lot of thought, a lot of question of how things were done. In Cape Verdean, we also say omtkaze, a man of his house, right? So if you are a man of your house, it means you take care of your business. In the West, it's even sometimes sometimes I'm ashamed of the conversations in social media about dudes looking for women with their own money, and I'm like, yeah, but what happened to men? What happened to manhood? Now, I'm not a player. I'm not a player. I don't fuck a lot. Why? Because I think I have to have something to offer, right? So
But where did you get that notion from?
well, my father, even though both of them worked, right? Both of them had a full-time job. My father took care of business because my mother ate everything. My mother is a real consumer. She consumed the family, to be honest, because she has a personality disorder. But my father took everything with his elephant skin. He took everything, like, I mean, everything. And that's all I know, right? uh, um, the man being responsible for everything, even the fuck ups of his children and his wife. you know uh,
Now,
we
is
are.
that African? No, 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 and I'm not talking about your dad. I won't talk about your family, your personal history, because we don't do that on the show. But what I'm saying is that notion that we are taught in modern system, and that's why I sent you that paper because it just shows that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good question. Is that African? Well, it's very man wife focused. Well, the article that you sent is community focused. Your role in the community, right? But then again, my old man was a community man. I am a copy. I am a copy. You know, I've done a lot in the community. Nobody knows it because I saw it as a duty, not something to scream from the top of the roof like, look what I did. You know, just like my old man, you're there for the community. You have a role, you have a plight to the community, and the article spoke of that. The uh, I forgot the name of the tribe, Bambara, right? The right, Bambara is their language, but also the name of the tribe, right? Hello, hello.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jose. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's this plight, not even to the family where you're from, but to the entire community. And there were, yeah, interesting things that made me scratch my head. Like, okay, so the young boys, the boys were supposed to take care or care for they got an assignment, and the assignment was a girl from the community. And until marrying, the yeah the girl was sort of their responsibility. And we are so far off that we, yeah, uh, i frown I frown to that. But it's your plight, your there's a lot of value, um, development. There's a lot of value development in only that aspect. That, yeah, man. Right now, when I'm speaking and I'm thinking of so many things, we in the West are so far off of what maybe it should be. I don't know. I don't know if it's really should be, but yeah, we're far off. We're very far off. Uh, Another thing that it made me think about is the 12 years on the Cape Verde Islands. We actually yeah, you could separate us in three. Right, you have the Sampajut in on the northern islands, and you have the Badiou on the southern islands, but you have also the Rabelados. And uh, those that's a group that lives very biblical, and with them the boys are adults at 12. So there was this documentary on YouTube, and they were following the last actual. Well, it turns out now that he was the last one, the last leader of the pack, so to speak. And his son, when he was 12, he had his wife. He had there was a girl. Maybe she was even 1 year older than him, but he had his little cottage. He took care of her, and he was 12. He was 12 years old, right? And this 12-year-old, I've seen it around the world. Tribes in Southeast Asia, but also in the Bible. So this Cape Verdean tribe, let me call them tribe. Uh, uh, um, they also had this 12 year, and lived very biblical. And yeah, I mean, I, so much, I don't even know what to say. It blew me away. It blew me away. What is your take on the article?
Well, I mean, it's something that I'm just kind of like I've been screaming this, and I think it's very very interesting because these are the things that are missing. Like I for example, on Dynasty Show earlier today, I was talking with two Niger, and um, I was trying to explain to him that I was mentioning to him. So I don't know if you're familiar with this. Um, in Nigeria, the Edo people, the Benin people, they they the women from that region are they go to Italy and do a lot of prostitution. I don't know if you heard about that. Nigerian girls in
Yes,
Italy doing a lot of prostitution.
yes,
Well, that's not normal. That's a result of a failure of African, you know, um, cultures and customs. And I was saying that in Nigeria, in the north, which is predominantly Muslim, not saying that their girls aren't doing things, but you don't see their girls engaging in that type of behavior the way girls from the south, which is predominantly Christian, are doing.
yeah. I never thought of it, but now you mention it. Of course, it had to be the Christian Southern people that are engaged in that mess.
Hello, this is B Lamont, right?
Yeah, peace. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Hey, peace to y'all brothers, man. This is a good topic y'all got going.
yeah,
Definitely, definitely. So we're talking about the concept of African culture and what it means. There's an article, I wish I had posted it, but it's kind of long. But basically, it was an
Okay.
article that was written about Bambara culture. As a matter of fact, if I have the chance, I'll try to post a link to it. I don't know if I post a link, but I wish I could post it. But it's comparing, the way that Bambara culture is, and how they raise their children, and comparing it to Western culture. And so that was something that was very interesting. And so Jose read the article, so we're having this conversation about it. But what are your thoughts on the difference between raising children in African culture and raising children in the modern day Western culture?
Before I speak on that, you said Bambara of Mali.
yes.
Yes, of Mali.
Oh, okay. Um. Wow. What's the big difference between Western society and our culture? I mean, for me personally, I'm an African American, so I can't speak on our brothers and sisters that's on the continent. But for us, man, we so lost. We don't know. We don't know what's our culture. You know what I mean? We kind of just lost out there in the water. What I notice about a lot of the Nigerian brothers I speak to or Ghanaians, they seem very family orientated. Um, Everything seems to be centered around family. Whereas in the West, I don't see it that way. I remember, uh, yeah, man. I think that's the big difference that I see. It's more family orientated. Um, the family have certain things that they expect of you, and I don't know, man. I think the family is the major difference though. That structure,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
No, it
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you guys can see the screen. So this is the article. I'm gonna zoom in and
I,
just
I I can see the
can you
screen.
see it?
But you have to
Yeah, I can
zoom
see
in
it.
indeed.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in so that way we can So this is the article, but the title is the socialization of the child in a Bambara village in Mali. Um, and it was taken in 1976, right? And so there were just certain key things that stood out. So I won't take too much time, but so here's one thing that they talked about, right? So they said vertical stratification, right, based on the principle of seniority, right? So says that um, let me find that. So okay, look right here. It says the groups regulate sexual intercourse by rules of marriage according to an alternate generation principle, thus determining a reciprocity and a continual circulation of goods and women. The wife, loaned against compensation, is destined for exchange from the start, whereas the men are destined for communal life. So, they kind of practice this wife rotation, right? And the men stay. So let me start getting to the parts that really hit home for me. And so comparing like to a modern day African thought process, right, of the African leaders or even black leaders in America. So you can read this part here. Let me see if I can highlight it, make the color. Okay, I can't change the color. But it says at the power wielding level, while the elders, and in particular the village chiefs, are the holders of authority, they are only the managers of a power which was delegated to them on behalf of the ancestors. They must ensure the stability of the society and the maintenance of traditions. It is impossible for an individual to hold power personally. That of the village chief is a decision making power for the benefit of the group. So I wanted to just, get you guys' thoughts on that. What do you guys think about that? I'm gonna highlight it
It's
again.
it, it's an absolute ego killer. That's for sure. It's an absolute ego killer. And what do I mean? What I just said. What I just said about, for example, the Cape Verdean expression "om te casa," the man of the house. There's ego can lurk in there, and in this concept, your ego has to go for the community, and that's interesting. Personally, I think it's very interesting. I think it's positive. Yeah. And you guys?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I would have to agree. I think that a lot of people uh, in society they look down on traditional African ways of living, even when it comes to our spirituality. And I think that we've become too westernized, and we have to realize that our ancestors' way was not backwards. We have to undo all of that thinking that uh, everything before the European came was a backwards way of living. It the more you get into our ancestors' teachings, it's wisdom in it, man, and all of it. So it's a
Yeah,
lot of undoing we have to go through.
yeah. Lately, I've been thinking ego is the devil, and that's why I think this is very possible to cancel ego completely, cancel ego out. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, we in the West. So I'm African, right? I'm Cape Verdean, and I'm quote unquote African because we actually we are the first, or we are an early stage in Mafa, in the transatlantic slave trade. We were gathered on those islands, and
Okay,
after that spread over the Americas, right?
okay,
Brazil, anywhere.
right,
So we although we are close to the continent, we don't know who we are, right?
right,
Because we have the same setup as DOS, right? Descendants of slavery, and so even though we are Africans, we are damaged, right? We are also on this man, yeah, father and mother concept, this small family concept, and not particularly uh community. No, we 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 do have a sense of the, oh, we are from the same village, right? And then we know each other, uh, uh, we meet each other in the diaspora, and oh, we are from the same village, so we party together. We visit each other's house, but it's not like a tribe, right? It's not like we're a tribe, and there's division, right? There's division. The colonizer implanted division. You have the north, you have the south, and we compete with each other on various levels, and it stands in the way of unity. But it's not like, we have traditions. We mix. Some tradition has survived. We use, we have some mandinka, a lot of, let me put it this way, we have a lot of mandinka tradition, but we actually say that we are not African. So those Mandinka tradition, we claim that it's unique to us, but it's literally Mandinka tradition. Even the same name, sometimes even the same name, and but we claim it's not African, right? So
Yeah.
we're a confused lot, and so I have reason to believe that this man of honor, this man of the house, that it's probably not that African as I always thought.
Hmm. I've
Yeah, no,
noticed that.
that's interesting. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I've noticed that with African Americans too. A lot of our practices are clearly African in origin, but a lot of times we don't even notice it. Like even in the church, certain way that they dance and praise God. I've seen the same type of movements from Nigerians, and I don't. We just don't realize how much we know that we've lost a lot, but we don't realize how much that we've held on to. But I wanted to talk about. It says the in Bambara society, the child is the supreme value. I think that especially in the West, we need to focus on that more because I've always said that for a lot of the older generation, that including myself, we're too lost. I think we need to just focus on the children. If we can focus on re-educating them, I feel like half the battle would already be won. So I
Yeah,
like that aspect of
sacrifice.
indeed,
Sorry,
indeed.
sorry.
Oh no, I'm good, brother. Go ahead.
Yes, sacrifice. We don't sacrifice for our children. We are competing with each other on a consumerist level. Look at
Right,
and I'm speaking as an African immigrant, right? Look how I made it in the Netherlands, where I grew up. Look how I made it in the Netherlands. In the United States, Cape Verdeans also be like, look how I made it in Cape Verde, right? and
right,
and then we and then we go back, and we um, project, how do you call it, we what a projector does. Well, we show off. We actually show off, and we hide that we live from bill to bill. Well, lately with social media, it may even be worse.
yeah,
We show the birthdays, we show the celebrations, and that type of stuff, and we hide the bills. We hide that we live from bill to bill, right? So there's a nasty type of consumerist competition, and it's at the cost of the next generation. It's at the cost of our children.
Well, you know what's interesting with what both of you just said, right? Like the last sentence in what I highlighted, it says, right, the human being, according to the Bambara, is destined to communal life. And
hmm,
I think, when you look at the Hebrews or the Jewish people in America and Europe, especially the Hasidic Jewish community, that's kind of what they focus on, right? So they the child, a young Jewish boy, he has his you know he has his rights. He knows how he's going to dress. He knows how he's going to carry himself. He speaks
right.
Yiddish. He reads the Torah, and it's still communal. And I think the mistake that we are taught as Black people around the world is we are communal people, but we are pushed to engage as individuals. And so, like you
Mm,
just said, Jose, that we're struggling living check to check, but that shouldn't have to be the case, right? Like families should be purchasing houses together,
right.
right? You'll see if you go to a family reunion, I don't care whether you go in Nigeria, you go Cape Verde, Alabama, Mississippi, Virginia, Netherlands, you see what black people are wearing at every family gathering party. Everyone has, you have the uncles with the fancy cars and the aunties with the expensive bags. No one, not one of them says, hey, we should all buy some houses together and
I've
live
been
together.
I've been saying that for years, man. I've been saying that for years. I don't understand why, because we have so much power. We think that we have to rely on a leader or some organization or the government. It's just that what you said. The families can do it. You know what I mean? We could pull our money together and start a business, but
Yeah,
ego
the
comes into
pyramid.
play. Somebody want to control the money. You know,
Yep, yep. What you're saying is from excuse, I'm sorry, but English is not my primary language, so sometimes I'll be looking for words, but what you are saying is that a community is from the bottom to the top, right? So leaders shouldn't be leaders should be administrators, and I believe we touched this in the previous show. But yeah, if families are doing what they are supposed to do, a leader is only guiding them in the right way, and not deciding anything, right? A leader, the leadership shouldn't be a leadership. They should be administrators. And I believe that was also in the article, right? So the leaders are not really leaders. I believe it's the first highlight that you did, Gasdemup. I believe the first highlight mentioned it, that yeah, th- there's no people do it in the name of ancestry, right? so
Yes,
so
yes.
yeah, right. So there is no leadership, there is no captain, there is an administration in name of ancestry, right? And what more can you do for ancestors than taking care for kin, preparing what your life to hand it over to kinfolk, right? To your children, and your children's children, right? That's what you do for ancestors, right? So I have anecdotes from myself, and one of them is there's a vertical society and there's a horizontal society, and us black folks, especially in the diaspora, and well, maybe most of us on the continent also, we live horizontally. So we're trying to impress the people that live while we live. We don't try to impress the people that lived before us or those that live after us. No, we have that car, and how long does a car last? Especially cars nowadays. How long does a car last? Not a lifetime, right? So that car is to impress your brothers, your nephews. Look, I made it. I'm an ICT guy. Look, I made it. I'm a doctor. Look at my house. Look at my look at the neighborhood where I live. And if you live for the vertical society, you are doing stuff in honor of your grandfather, that did the same. He lived in your honor, right? And so
I
so
agree.
you live in the honor of your grandchildren, in the name of your grandfather that did stuff for you.
Right, right.
No,
So
it's
yeah, I,
funny
I
you
call it
just said that because here we are, we're taught to chase after this thing called money, right? And on most of the money are old men, for the most part, old men who are the grandfathers of the oppressors who oppress us.
Right.
and we are killing ourselves in honor of these people's grandfathers, totally forgetting our grandfathers.
Oh
Right.
God, yeah, you put it painful, painful.
I mean, in America, there's literally slaveholders on our money. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah, man.
it gets even crazier when you think about it like that. But I remember hearing that in ancient in the ancient part of Mali, like I think it was even before the Ghana Empire, they had cities where the archaeologists couldn't really tell where there was a king or a chief. They seemed like the
Yeah,
families in the villages was governing themselves, and they couldn't really be such a large city that seemed to have been prosperous, but they could hierarchy. And I
yeah, I
think
came
that goes
across
to
that
show,
too.
right? I think that goes to show that it's important to go back and study the ways of the ancestors, but because what type of science did they tap into where they would have this peaceful society, that thrived for such a long time, and like you were speaking on getting rid of the ego, uh, it appears that they achieved that, at least at one point. And I think that when it comes to these leaders, we have to stop looking for them to save us or do anything for us. I think we need to rely more on ourselves, become more self-reliant and more like minds, like the brothers that's on this call and sisters. We need to unite, and if we can help some family members to come along, then okay. But if not, we can just lead them. I think that the people have to be the ones that bring the change, and all of the things that we want to see come for us and our people. I think we have to just change our mindset on who is going to be the one to change in our society, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, that makes a lot of sense.
Jose, sorry to cut you off. Can you post your Facebook link? Someone is in the chat trying to join. I think they're having trouble with YouTube. Is there any way you could post like your link for Facebook in the chat by any chance?
you mean the stream?
Yeah, yeah, on Facebook or something. So maybe they can connect it through Facebook.
You it's your channel, it's your YouTube channel. So I suppose that or you have to make me moderator because I believe it's automatically you cannot post links if you're not a moderator of or the owner of the channel.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't worry about it. Thanks. Cause I don't do the Facebook thing. But yeah, I was just trying to see if that person could join. Don't worry.
No, no, the link, the StreamYard link, because that's what I put on Facebook, the StreamYard link.
Okay. So did you? I just highlighted this other part right here, right? So it says all the learning of knowledge and skills is functional. The child only learns what he needs in order to live in his society and nothing else. What the child learns cannot be changed or disturbed without the whole system being upset. The role of the old would be downgraded and the functions challenged. The whole system would be undermined and motivations would collapse. This knowledge is also consistent with the society. We are in a culture based not on the power one has over the world or on the will to change and the autonomy of the ego, but the recognition of one's status and the status of others on subjection to one's environment. So, I don't know if you guys might, read that and then compare it to what, you guys see the way that we're taught to grow up in this system.
Yeah, it's a big difference, man. It's a big difference. There's clearly a I don't even know how to put it into words. This system that we live in right now well, I'm speaking for myself in the West. It's material driven. It's all about material. There is no deep care for the child, and you just send them off to school, and after that they're just supposed to get a job. There is no like American society in particular is young. When you talk about the Bambora and the Mali, this is an ancient culture that's had a long time to go through trial and error and come up with solutions. So this is wisdom. I think that's the major difference between our African societies and the West. Those societies in the West, they're new, and the African societies are of the most ancient. So they've had the longest time to figure out what's best for each member of society. Yeah, but I'm
Hello.
gonna have to check out. I'm gonna have to check out this article though.
Post your email
Oh dear.
in back channel, and then I'll um I'll send it to you.
Okay,
Jose, you there?
hey brothers, I gotta get ready for work. I really enjoyed this, man. I'm gonna try to catch our brothers another time.
Okay, yeah,
Hope y'all have.
we do it once a week. So you can invite people. We do it once a week. Um, so on Fridays we try to pick a topic and touch on it. But
Okay,
thank you for
cool.
definitely joining us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
no
you.
doubt, no doubt, brother. Peace.
Peace. Okay, Gasdemup. I was in the I was I tried to post the link in the chat, and I got kicked out of the stream. I
No, no,
guess.
that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, you know, w- when you read, because I just highlighted this part. What are your thoughts when you're reading this part right here that I just highlighted?
Yeah. I remember. I remember reading this. What the child learns cannot be changed. Yeah, and that sometimes that was funny. I believe that was this. The knowledge is also consistent with society and the culture based in power and the world and change. But autonomy of change and the autonomy of the ego that he stated. Yeah, I believe somewhere near it mentioned that sometimes the child will follow the parent if it was a bush doctor or something like that. If it was a bush doctor, the child could follow in the path of the father or something like that. Yeah, what do I think about that? It's sort of logic. That's another anecdote. That's another anecdote of mine that I have based on the Netherlands, right? So the west of the Netherlands is sub uh, sea level. It's below sea level, and
Yes,
it's being protected by dikes. So how did it become below sea level? It's all sediment. It's sediment from three rivers, right? The Netherlands is about the size of the delta from the Nile, and but the Nile is of course one river, but here it's a delta of three rivers, and it's a lot of plant-based sediment. So what did the Dutch do? They build a dike. They build a dike around a section or a part, and then they pump out the water. So what happens? It's like a sponge, right? It was like a sponge. So you pump out the water, and the ground. Uh, yeah, excuse my English. The ground um sets, right? The ground sets. It's lower. It's like you pull out the water, and uh, and the ground get more dense. So eventually it descends lower than the sea level where it was, right? It was um, how do you call it, swamp, right? If you pump out the water of a swamp, it will be lower than the level that it was, right?
yes,
So
yes.
So okay, so you have adel dukes. How do you call those people? Dukes, kings, lords. There's one name for to group them all. Let me call it elite, right? Elite. So the dukes, the elite, they maintained the dikes, and thanks to them, farmers could farm the land, right? And thanks to the farmers, there are a lot of jobs for servants, right? So you have the king, Jack, and the servants, right? The kid. Let me keep it to king or duke or lord, right? On the elite level, uh, providing land by maintaining dikes for the farmer, and the farmer needs all types of specialists, right? Uh, and nowadays you call them servants, but it were specialists. You had the dude that maintains the carriage. Uh, you had the dude that keeps the sheep or the horses. You have the dude that all types of jobs are around both of them, the farmer and the elite that maintains the dike, right? So so there's a certain structure, there's a hierarchy, and if you are not working, if you don't serve the structure, you are not eating, you know and that's where I think I'm looking at. So the skill that you do is is the job that is available. Not I want to be a pilot. No, there's one job vacant. There's a function in the community vacant. So that's what I'm going to learn, right? Am I right?
No,
Did I?
true. No, no, 100%. I think most African economies right now, the so-called youth, they don't want to take that approach. They're like, I don't care what is available. I want to be a doctor. I want to be the
100%.
Nigerian Cosby Show. That's the problem.
100%. Everybody wants to move either to the big city, Dakar, or they have a European country in their mind. Yes, sir. Because they have a diploma. So it's a brain drain. And the funny thing is, in 2012, I did a little farming. I did some farming. I grew melons. Most of it were peanuts, and uh, and that gave me yeah. I can joke. I can joke about farming now because it's peanuts. But maybe peanuts are easy. But anyway, you know how I got the land? They were looking for neighbors. These people were looking for neighbors. They give me land for free so that they had neighbors. Can you believe that? And why?
No, because it's communal, and that's the crazy part. Whereas in the West, your neighbors would tell you, "Get off my property." I mean, in America, people have been killed just by, for example, maybe a person's car breaks down, and you go on the guy's property and say, "Hey, please listen, my car broke down." They'll pull out a gun and shoot you.
Yeah,
They don't want neighbors.
yeah, but why? But why was it? Because the youngsters are moving out of the village. Young people are moving out of the village, so they were glad to have neighbors.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy, crazy thing, right? And I think something has to be done towards reinvigorating and revitalizing the village. Because you
Yep.
said something profound when we talked. You said that Netherlands is nothing but a bunch of villages connected.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not the largest city is Amsterdam, and that's 600,000, just over half a million.
Yeah, that's that's phenomenal. Like whereas Lagos is 20 million, maybe more. And when
Yeah.
Lagos was built, it wasn't built to hold 20 million people.
No. Now you know when you go to Paris or Lisbon or even Brussels, you see phenomenal monuments, you see phenomenal lanes with these large marble houses. You don't see that in the Netherlands. It's just a bunch of villages.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that no one talks about. It's something that has to be. How do we make these villages vital again? How do we revitalize them? If you look at most African governments, none of them have ever had a real plan for the rural development. And funny enough, if you look at, for example, like Nigeria, they say has 300 million people. Most of them are not in Lagos. Most of them are in rural towns
Yeah.
or townships, which are not too far from the villages. So you need to have a rural development plan, and no African government, especially in the Nigerian context, has ever come up and said, "Hey, listen, let's create a rural plan."
I've seen attempts here. I've seen attempts here, but it was ad hoc. It was ad hoc. It was like well, let's drop four. That was also in 2012. Let's drop four tractors in this village here because this village has a central function, and we dropped these four tractors with with the tools, whatever that they that they connect these tractors with. I'm sorry for my English again. Um, these extras that these tractors come with, and we drop those four tractors in this village, and what happens is that village will use the tractors, right? And other villages don't. They don't. They rather feel neglected than to approach that village and say, hey, let's build something to, or maybe that's the responsibility of from above, right? So you can give those four tractors to that village, but you want a sort of a control system, um, where you make sure that those tractors are being used by all the villages in the in the neighborhood, right? So I've seen attempts that was 2012. Now it's 10 years later, and I've seen organizations that I looked it up. So I drove past um, a storage facility, and it had a big billboard, and I looked it up, and it looks like they have grown into organizing small farms for small farmers, right? But I have to investigate it. If I have to investigate it, because the yeah, what I just described is from 2012. So yeah, it, it back then there was no plan. There was a demand in the south. The south was sort of left behind, and and uh, uh, and Senegal is cut. Right? Gambia is like a cut into Senegal, right?
It's interesting because you get the word Senegambia, right? No one says that word anymore, but historically it was Senegambia.
Well, historically, I don't know historically, uh, uh, but there is an area in Gambia that they call Senegambia, and it's a lot of tourists. It's a very touristic, a very touristic part of Gambia that they call Senegambia, and it took years. It took me years to realize that, because I thought Gambia and that small piece at the south of Gambia, I thought that people named that whole area Senegambia, but that's not true. It's a very small. It's like a neighborhood. It's like a neighborhood in a conglomerate of cities in Gambia that they call Senegambia. But that small piece of Senegal is sort of left behind because of logistic reasons, right? You have to go around Gambia, or um, be bothered with a lot of bureaucracy, passing two times, passing a border, right, from Senegal into Gambia, and from Gambia into Senegal again. So the that area is sort of left behind, and that's where the separatist movement, also it fed this separate movement, because the roads were bad, bridges were not maintained, so the tractors that were being handed out, was sort of an attempt from Dakar to it had a political side of it, right, to give the locals the impression that Dakar is doing something for those villages, but to call it a
No, no, that's
plan. To
yeah.
call it a
Go ahead.
plan for rural areas, no, it was no plan. Maybe now there's a plan for rural areas, but back then, no, there was no plan. You wanted to say?
No, no, I was gonna say I hope that as we put it out in the atmosphere, maybe some people may be able to hear that and start to think about it. But what I wanted to slowly pivot, stay on the same article, and the part that I highlighted here, we're gonna touch on it. But recently in Nigeria, they came out with this policy where they said that they want all 35% of governmental positions have to be given to women. Um, you know, they said there's this new policy. I don't know if it's gonna pass or not, but they're saying that because if a man marries a foreign woman, that foreign woman is a Nigerian. But if a Nigerian woman marries a foreign man, that man is not a Nigerian. They want to change that, which we all know what that really means is some, you know, black girl with
So,
jungle fever is gonna let
yes,
you know.
yes, yes.
And so I'm saying I want to juxtapose that with what's occurring now, because I said this again. I even asked this question on Dinah's show now, and I said it. I said that if if I wore a dress, and I have nothing against anyone's orientation, that's their choice. On this show we don't talk about those people. But if I were to wear a dress and say I'm a black woman, they would say I'm empowered. Um, they would promote me and they would support me. But if I were to say I want two wives, they would attack me. They would say I'm terrible, I'm evil, I'm no good. And I'm going to read this thing and end with my point. I want to hear what you say. Because it says, through these games, there is a beginning of internalization of male and female roles. The tasks are already allocated according to sex. Thus, we attend make believe marriages where each boy is given a wife and everybody behaves according to the adult model. These games become more institutionalized after circumcision, when each boy chooses in the equivalent girl's age grade a girlfriend to whom he remains very closely attached and for whom he will in fact be responsible until marriage. The union is a miming of the transactions of a real marriage. And when you see something like that, a young man who has to, take care of this girl, maybe she's not feeling good that day, he gives her an extra piece of fruit, he might hunt him and his friends, he brings her a piece of fish, things like that. He's learning how to cater to his woman. He's learning, when he gets his actual wife, things that he'll do. He can have conversations with her. They didn't say anything sexual here, right? They just say they're teaching you how to engage with the woman of opposite sex from your community. And what that does is it draws men closer to the needs and to support their women. Yet,
Yeah.
if you look at, like I said, that Nigerian rule of now they want 30 something percent of the government women to be, government agencies to be designated to women. Um, they want to bring in these women to have foreign husbands to come in and get citizenship. It to me it's just spelling, and this is why I'm against the Pan African thing, not in the ideology of Africans coming together, but the ideology that when you create a state, you have to be very, very specific and very careful as to what you're using the machinery and the mechanisms of the state for. And I believe if we're not careful, especially with southern Nigerians. I'm talking Nigerian. I don't know how it is in Cape Verde. You can inform me. But I believe if we're not careful, these states will serve as a proxy to separate the African man and the African woman because they've done that already in America. They've done that already in America. If you look at the American media, when I was growing up in the 90s, 80s, you saw dark skinned black men on TV. Entire NBA was dark skinned. Football players dark skinned. And I have nothing against light skinned or whatever, right? Now, a lot of the representation has changed. These biracial, ambiguous, children who pass as black, but they are aligned and they have an allegiance to the dominant white system. And I think that's what they're trying to target. They're trying to come after the relationship between black men in Africa and the black woman in Africa.
Yeah, it's maybe it's worse. Maybe it's worse because what I see happening is that African women don't want will not want to marry African men. They will stay available for foreign men, Europeans, of course, or other wealthier in their eyes, wealthier nations. They will want to stay available for maybe that European dude that comes to Nigeria to marry them, right? So that was my first thought. But let me tell you something. I was watching TV. I was watching TV a few hours ago, and there's this Senegalese cookie factory, and it was all like 100% Senegalese, this that blah de blah, but it was also 100% females working in the factory. And I was looking at these images, and they were so proud that it's made by females, and they make cornflakes, cookies, cereal, um, and all that type of stuff. And at the end, you saw one guy, you saw one man, and that was the family enjoying. Uh, yeah, a table full of cookies and cakes, and I was feeling frustrated, but all this Western negativity. We the things that we complain about. People are not open for those vibrations. People don't want. It's like people don't like confrontational things. So I shut up a lot of time. I do complain. I do complain about all the light skinned females on TV, for example, but not too much, because I don't want to bother people. But I was grinding my teeth, watching that commercial, a very long commercial, right? And at one hand, I was proud, I'm there's a lot of things that surprise me. I must say, there's a lot of things that Senegal built themselves that I didn't quite expect, and that's, yeah, whatever. But I was looking at housewives. Uh, it, I looked at it as a sort of birth control, right? These females in those factories, they don't want to give up their job. They got their money, right? And yeah, I was looking at it like a sort of a birth control, or a sort of is they are missing in the home, who is bringing up their children, right? That's how I was looking at it, and I may
The
I may
state, the state is bringing up their children.
Yeah, most probably, maybe maybe the factory has some sort of facility for the children, right? There's some sort of daycare system, providing more jobs for women, right? So this, what I just came to say, in the West, I'm the bad guy. Oh, so you don't this and that, and so women should stay at home and take care of the children and blah blah blah. Yes, yes, you have titties. You have titties. That's to feed children. I don't have titties. I have more muscle. I have more endurance. That didn't
But
come
but
from.
African, but I'll push back on you a little bit, Jose. But African women never stayed at home, even with their breasts, they still went to farm. They would just put the baby on the back, and then they would take time at the farm, and
Yeah,
because they would, yeah, so
yes.
they didn't
Here,
just stay at home.
here in the north, I see it, right? I see the ladies farming, but in the south, you know no, hell to the no. The tools that they use in the south, the tools that the jola use in the south, are heavy. They are heavy. It 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 it, it, how do you call it? Uh ooh, ah
So the women can't work the
but
machinery.
the chain gang.
Yes.
It farming in the south, it had me is comparable to the chain gang. There's an elder, there's an elder. He sings, right? He sings ascendance, and then the young men, uh, about 30 in a row, they do their move and sing, answer the elder singing, right? That's what I saw. But the tool used, it was not a spade. It was not a spade. It's like 3 to 4 meters long, with a metal, with a lance. Is it a lance? Is the English word a lance? So a metal plate. So it's
Yeah, I
like a
think so.
spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a spear, but the metal plate is already 4 to 5 kilograms, right? Imagine the stick, or the 3 to 4 meters long stick, right? Women don't do that. Women don't do that. You see the women plant the rice. You see the women plant the rice, but you don't see the women actually doing the
No, but no,
farming.
no one is saying, no one is expecting women to lift heavy machinery. Even in pre-colonial West Africa, the men would clear the forest. They would cut down the heavy trees. They would do a lot of the heavy work. But
Okay,
in terms
okay.
of,
Another thing then.
yeah,
Another thing then. The men are what I saw in the south. The men were practically not at home. They work, let's say, uh, 8 to 18 hours a day, right? So in the morning he's at the farm. At daytime he rides his bus, right? So in the morning it's like 4 or 5 in the morning, right? And then from 9 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock, he drives a little bus with 14 passengers in the between villages or cities, and then after that, about 8 o'clock or something like that, he takes a walk with whatever, with the handful of cows that he has or something like that, right? I have on my channel I have one movie up, and one of the guys, with a truck we take assignments, right? We pick up sand and gravel and take it to a construction site, right? And at the end of the video, one dude, one of my crew, he jumps off the truck. He's handed a key, right? Um, and he, I mean, he jumps off a truck right under the hood of a car, right? With no pause. I mean, he jumps off the truck, he takes the key, and he starts working on the engine of the car, right? And the ladies, they 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 are in the house, right? Cooking, washing clothes, etc., etc. And about 6 o'clock, they go to the market and sell the products from the land. You understand?
no, I definitely understand. Yeah,
So they 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 go out the house about 6 o'clock, right? Depending on what their man does, right? Because the fisher, the wives of the fishermen, they are uh, selling fish six in the morning, right? And later, of
true,
course,
true.
later on, and that's right where their men, uh, that's right where their men have their boats pulled on the shore. Right there, they set up tables and sell the fish alive, right? But later on, 6 o'clock, they're right next to the ladies selling tomatoes again. Again selling the fish from that morning. You understand? So there's a
No, definitely.
it's not like the men do working. It's not like the men doing 8 to 18 hours a day.
But that's what I'm trying to say. I think that's what's missing in the discourse, right? A lot of times we are told to be a man is to be this, workaholic, drop dead and die, and it's like, no, it was done communal. You had to work, but it was done from a communal perspective, and that's something that's no one talks about that. No one definitely talks about that. But Jose, it is running late on my end, and I know I messed up with the sound and everything earlier because we did about like 20, 30 minutes, and the sound was a little bit bad. Um, this article, I think we can continue a little bit of it next week with a new topic. So I want to let you have the closing statement, and um, shout out to everyone who came and joined us today. I hope more people can join us because this is a space that Jose and I created because we want to have a balanced conversation on Africa that's not, no knock to anyone else's platform, but Jose and I just want a place where it's more of an intellectual um, thought process where we're not, you know, um, just pushing certain narratives. So we just want to have more of a laid back, chilled, intellectual vibe. So if that's what you're into, um, you know, definitely come and hang out and listen to the Black Pentagrammers. So go ahead, Jose. I'll let you close out.
Yes. Actually, you said it, man. You said it. We're crossing our thoughts and scratching our domes, uh, looking for, to speak for myself, looking for understanding. I'm trying to understand the world. I'm an African, and I grew up in the West, in Europe, in Western Europe, the wealthier part of Europe. And I'm over 50, and I feel like I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm yeah, like I said, scratching domes in search of answers, and maybe not even answers, in search of questions, in search of the right questions. If you want to join, please do. If as you may have noticed, we're not really pushy, but yeah, sometimes we have those aha moments, that we that's where we got into another person's conversation, but not to convince, not to convince or push a narrative, but more like, oh yes, I understand, that we are again scratching our domes, crossing thoughts, or however you want to call it. We are looking, watching, thinking. Join us. Thank you.
All right, peace to everyone in the chat. So Jose, I hope you can join the Shoot the Breeze podcast tomorrow. Definitely love to have you. I know that we add some great stuff to it. So shout out to the the Bitter Medicine podcast. So I know they'd appreciate the shout out. So you can Google them Bitter Medicine. So Jose, I hope you can make it, and we'll probably be on there tomorrow.
Yes, it's recommended. It's organized. I like to listen to it, and yeah, take part. See you tomorrow.
All right, brothers, be safe. All right, everyone, peace.
Peace.